Hello and welcome back to TEW 2016, the branding solution. And we are here on Shockwave, 2 weeks removed from WrestleMania. And we had a new little entrance video. I hope you like the new talent that are getting pushed a bit more. I've decided to cut the videos down a little bit because I don't use everyone in them. These are the guys who I think one day could be or are currently main event guys. So we start with our pre-show, as we do, and as we're trying to just take a bit of a punt at this because we've never really worked with the regens on the game, we are putting the regens against anybody and everybody we can on Raw and Shockwave. Can't do it on SmackDown because I haven't actually found any women regen, which is a bit disappointing. So we found out last time that Hishari Kugachi and Numuku Kai have excellent chemistry as a team, so they will probably be facing tag teams for weeks and weeks. But as you can see, performance-wise, Kai is already in the 20s. He continued to improve. I just gave the Sumerian Death Squad a win. They've currently been axed, but they're not axed, if you get what I mean, from the British Invasion sort of group. They're not British, so that is the slight problem with it. So we're going to work on where they fit into it, whether it's going to be British or European invasion. But at the moment, they're just a tag team looking to get some wins. And I do feel, once I've revealed who the number one contenders will be, which will be next week, I may do a little tag team tournament, a bit like the Intercontinental one and the women's one I've created. So we get to use a bit more tag team material, and that's one team that will get used in that. We then gave Adam Cole a victory over Ollie Zetina, and he's improved, which is good. That's the point of this. Adam Cole looking fantastic, as always. The Revival pick up a win over Ruben Liddell, actually. Probably the highest rated performance so far of the Regens. And John Cena, yes. I had John Cena beat Carlos Lawler. Why not? And John Cena improved. That's what you like to see. Yeah, never mind. I think Lawler may be a foul when it comes to this. We then gave Bobby Roode, Bubba Ray, and Kane a victory over another three. I was hoping that 3 veterans against 3 rookies could have really improved. Bobby Roode's looking fantastic. Bubba and Kane are vastly on the decline anyway. Rarely use Kane anyway. Damien Sandow needed a win, so I gave him one of Alan Young. And then we have a 4-on-4. We actually have some real NXT guys, plus Harold Big. They lose to Gallagher, Rampage, Brown, Killian, and Marty, who are my main backup in the European invasion. Obviously, Drew and Bad News are the main part of that. Main sort of guys. With William Regal coaching them, and you can see he's great with Jack Gallagher, which is what I kind of wanted. He's better with having help, and he has good chemistry. Harold Big isn't very popular known for his Magnus Mexican. I can't change the name because he's NXT, unless somebody can tell me how to do this, because I don't want to be doing it every time we borrow him. And the final one is Austin Aries beating Craig Patterson, who his description says he is a flabby lightweight who's a spot monkey, which is interesting. I would like to see what we could do with that. If they do ever get called up officially to the top main card, they will be getting more interesting names, shall we say. So we are going to jump into the main show now, so let's see. We start the show with John Cena and AJ Styles. Alright, we are doing John Cena versus AJ Styles. We've teased it a few times. We've had tag team matches with them both in. We've had Styles cross Cena matches. We've had Cena cross Styles matches. we want to do a rivalry now, and they are going back and forth about how much better than the other one is. They could give up title shots. Like, remember, Cena cannot have a title match until SummerSlam. Styles can, if he gets back in the picture, get a title shot. And they are going back and forth, saying that they could give up any future titles to prove that they're the better man at No Mercy. So it's a full-blown challenge between the two of them. I've got to pull the trigger on making this a longer rivalry, because AJ is hit that declining age, which really frustrates me, because AJ Styles is not declining in real life. At this time, he's probably still improving. So it's disappointing to see that on him. I'm hoping Cena doesn't have it too. I should have checked. But yeah, great start to the show. And also it takes both of these out of a title picture just to have a pure rivalry, which I feel is the problem when you're going into Mania with 3 brands, because you need to have all the titles on the line. You don't really have a space for a rivalry match. But I've got months now to play from April to August to SummerSlam, and then you've got from SummerSlam right through to the Rumble to play with all sorts of rivalries to see who could be title contenders in the future, and who's going to be the big guys, the bad guys, the forgotten guys, or the surprise packages. So, but it's almost going to be my safety blanket match in doing these. I feel that these two could put on match after match that's in the mid-80s as well. We actually start the show with a 10-man Battle Royal for the number 1 contendership for the Cruiserweight Championship, which we know Neville challenged him for, but he didn't want anything to do with Neville, did Kenny Omega, and Neville wins this. The Staff Rally is debuting his gimmick. He's got the debuting his gimmick every show glitch that I seem to get on some guys, and it's still awful. Even though he would be a show stealer, I don't understand. But never mind. We didn't have many true contenders, and I should have put Atami in there, I feel. But I was trying to get some heels, and they're my only 2 heels, apart from Omega, who's champ, and Gallagher, who I didn't want to be in this to lose. So, yeah. And Kenny Omega comes out and cuts a promo and says, "Well done, Neville. You earned this shot, but the week after, in 2 weeks, you've got to find yourself a tag team. You're going to face me and 2 partners of my choosing to see who is the big guns on this show. Now, I'm going to keep it a bit of a surprise who we're going to pick, and I'm going to tell you it's flat out not going to be the Club. I want Omega to have a new little tag team backup, because I feel he works well with the Bucks, not with Anderson and Gallows. So what we can do long term is, if we do break them up, Kenny will have his own little tag team as a backup, as Styles would have his. So if we did break the Club up, we have 3-on-3 either direction, because the Bucks got drafted to Raw. I have picked both the tag teams, so I hope we can keep them working. And then we go the special edition, a victory over the Vaudevillains. The special edition are one of the tag teams in the Fatal 4-Way next week to see who the new number 1 contenders are, along with the Club, the Hart Dynasty, and I believe it was the Lucha Dragons. This is going to be all for this Punk-Rusev rivalry in this show. We're going to have Punk give the interview to Joey Styles, pre-recorded, to why he should be the guy to retain or regain his title, which he lost at WrestleMania against Rusev. I feel I want to keep this quite distant, because I got 5 weeks to build for it, and we already had a good 8 weeks to build for their first match. So yes, it's going to be a great match. We will have a good showdown to hopefully put it to a top rating going into the match. But for now, I don't really want them just beating each other up week in, week out. It's not going to help the storyline progress. It's just going to make one look weak, one look bad. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We'll probably end up doing the challenge thing idea that we've done before, where Punk will pick Rusev's opponent and Rusev will pick Punk's. And that fills the show going into that pay-per-view at the end of May. Middle of May. We then tease at Tyson Kidd actually beating Mark Briscoe. Now this is to help the Hart Dynasty look super hot going into their pay-per-view or their Fatal 4-Way for a potential pay-per-view match next week. I feel beating one half of the tag champs is going to help boost Kidd and Smith a little bit more. I didn't want to beat the actual champs though. And then they cut a promo saying that they beat one half of the tag team champions. They are ready for this tag team title match, opportunity match next week, and if they don't, they're going to hurt somebody. So I'm not fully sure who I'm going to actually pull the trigger on winning, but they are one of the four in the match. Now so far we're not having the greatest of shows, let's be honest, and we gave the Uprising. They did make it to Shockwave, and I don't think we showed them last week. We couldn't fit them on the card. They beat the Unexpected, which is Carino and Finley Jr., who have been working as my jobbers anyway. They're like my lowest ranked tag team. And if I do a little tag team championship tournament, they're going to be in it. And I want them to get a win over somebody as a surprise, just to boost them a little bit. But it's very unlikely they will go all the way. We then bring William Regal and the British Kingdom. Bad news, Drew McIntyre, Braun, Killian Dane and Marty Scurll out. And there you go, we are open to any British superstar in the WWE or outside the WWE to come and join us as we look to take Shockwave by a scruff of its neck and beat it to submission. And Oblivion Max comes out and goes, you guys, you're just mugs. Us Brits have been holding up this show for ages. Where were you lot? You were all losing on Raw. Or a couple of you couldn't even make it to the main card, could you, Killian, Marty? Yes, Drew's had a few lucky wins the last couple of months, but remember, I was injured thanks to a mistake by Drew. I'm back, I'm ready to fight, and I'm going to stop this rising of this kingdom. So, but he is British, so he could have joined. So we're going to have a match now. We're going to have Oblivion Max defeat Bad News Barrett thanks to Drew McIntyre accidentally hitting Bad News Barrett. It's a really good match for the 76. Considering their performances weren't great. And afterwards, William Regal grabs the mic and says, "Bad news, Wade Barrett. You thought you were going to be the starring man and you couldn't even beat the first threat that came towards us. You know what? I thought you were stronger than this kid. But I'm guessing Drew is the true leader of this group. And you're not even part of it anymore. So we basically had them beat the living hell out of Bad News Barrett. And that's where you should be able to do the turn. Didn't happen. Never mind. Tyler Breeze and Braun Strowman defeat Fandango and Mojo Rawley in a bit of a throw-in match. Yeah, don't know where we're going with these guys. Braun has slowly been increasing, as you can see. He's nearly at 50, which is good. Mojo Rawley, wow, look at those improvements. I thought he was nearly dead in the water for me. But still, Tyler Breeze, the star of the show, though. Shane McMahon has come out to the top of the ramp, keep it cool. He goes, right, this AJ Styles John Cena match, we're going to add ourselves a little stipulation. If AJ Styles loses, he will not get a title match until the night after WrestleMania, whichever show he is on. And Cena, if you lose, you're going to have to add another year to your SummerSlam, night after SummerSlam problem title for you. So we're going to up the stakes right up there. One of them will not get another title match, and that seems like the best way to do things for now. As I said, I want to try and put some different people in the title picture. We've got Rusev and Punk, which is a good couple, but if I just put Cena or Styles in there again, we've seen it. I need to just try and push some other people right up there. There's 5 or 6 minimum. I probably think there's 10 that could probably have title matches and give us good matches with either Rusev or Punk. So that is where we're going to go. I don't actually know which way round I'm going to go with this. As I said, I don't see either of them in the title picture for a while. We then have Willow Spray defeat Shane Ford. Yeah, I have a couple little throwaway matches here. Bit of time filling, just to try and put some other people over. We then have a video looking at everything going around this US title match. Champion Nakamura, Joe, Zayn, Okada and Cesaro. The main event tonight is Joe, Zayn, Okada and Cesaro for the number 1 contendership. So we're just going to do the tease that we're looking back at their little run up to that match. And then Anthony Nese makes his official singles debut on Shockwave by beating Blake. Yeah, and Nese improves, which is good. That's it. That's all they're talking about. I'm happy with that. It's inconsistent, Nese, but never mind. And we go backstage, and we see Oblivion Max talking the bad news. He says, I know I beat you tonight, mate, but you know what? If we work together, we could stop this even starting and try and rise to the top ourselves. Now, that should have also given me a chance to do the turn. This is getting very annoying. I want Bad News Barrett as a face. I know it's not the best thing to do, but I want it to happen. I want him and Max to work together against the European invasion. I've got a couple of other guys in that storyline too. So our main event, we're hoping to get a minimum of an 80. And we get a 78. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. We have Samoa Joe defeat Cesaro with a muscle buster to become the number 1 contender for the US title. Okada and Sami Zayn not involved in the pin. Disappointed with Okada's rating. Really, I thought he was much higher than that. As you can see, Joe is getting the held on physical ability, and that is actually the only negative this match had, which is good to see. And we're going to end the show with Nakamura and Samoa Joe squaring off, with the US title being held aloft by Nakamura. And yeah, this is what happens when you take the bit of a risk by not having the 4 biggest names really doing much any wrestling on the card, the main show anyway. So we'll end it and hope we manage to get the high 870s. We got a 79. I'm happy with that. As I said, we're building new things here. We've got months to build these guys up to be main eventers. We can't waste 20 minutes a show on Styles, Cena, Punk and Rusev. I know we should have had Rusev on there, probably just squashing someone, which we'll probably do next week. But otherwise, this is where we need to start going. We're going to go back to the main screen and see what's happening. And we are back to the main screen, as I wanted to just check a few things, so my spoiler of who will be joining won't get revealed yet. We just had a few contracts to renew, Luke, Jack and Booker T. Nothing fancy in there. Creative meeting, we'll check the Sami Zayn lost the main event, still there. AJ Styles hasn't wrestled in 2 weeks, still there. It's great to see Becky and Alexa make that list. The not so, the usuals, let's be honest. The time decline, the usuals. Most of them will be leaving once their contracts are up or being reduced to other roles, shall we say. We are going into Payback for SmackDown, so that is going to be it for the show. We'll come back and hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see how Payback plays out. Thank you for watching.